to finish up your weavings. You should have your in progress weaving and a weaving kit with your needle, some extra yarn to finish your weaving off, and some instructions too. Hopefully this video will also help if you need to watch and follow along. So we need to add some yarn to finish all the way to the top. You want to do your best to weave as close to the top of these little loops, these horizontal lines, as possible. So we're done with this orange thread. We're going to do a double knot with the next color that we want. Double knot, you can do a crisscross, tuck one end under, oops, make a loop, and bring one of those tails through, give both of those tails a tug. That is a single tie. We need to do that 2 times. So I'm going to do that again. Make a loop by crisscrossing, take the tail and put it through that loop and pull. There. Now our knot should be pretty tight. You don't want it to slide around. Okay. So I've got my next color. I'm going to try and finish this blue, and then I should be ready to remove my weaving. You might have several more colors to go. Maybe your weaving is only like an inch high so far. That's fine, but you want to keep going all the way to the top. Otherwise you won't have a nice finished bag at the end. This is our goal right here. Okay? So I'm going to keep going with my new color. Just so happens that it's at the end, so I'm going to flip over my weaving and keep going. This little tail, you should have a tail at the top and the bottom of your warp threads, your vertical threads. So these at the very end, we're going to do a special double knot here and with my last color too. So to begin my next row, I look here and I see that my last row started under, so I need to start over, over, under, over, under. And keep going all the way across. And these last few rows can be kind of tight, so I'm pulling it out and then continuing to go. Alright, pulling it all the way through. Looks a little bit tangled, but I'm going to keep going. Move that knot out of the way. There we go. You want to have that staggered look. Over, under, over, under. Flip it around and keep going on this side. So I'm just going to check this last row started over, so now I'm going to start under, over, under, over. All the way through. You might need to use your fingers to help on these last couple of rows. Pull it all the way through. And flip it over. The last row started over, so I'm going to start under. I'll probably do one more on each side, and then we'll be ready to remove our weaving. Under, over. If you mess up, you can always unweave a row too. You can always go backwards and fix your mistake. Over, under, over, under. Try and bring it a little closer to the camera so you can see. Pushing it down, pushing your other weaving down can help a little bit too, to make a little more space to weave. We'll do one more row on each side. This project can definitely feel like a marathon, so don't expect to finish it all in one day. Maybe weave a few rows one day, put it away, and get it out another day. So if you work on it a little bit every day, you should be able to finish your weaving this summer. Sometimes it can be relaxing to do an art project like this that is kind of repetitive. And then after a while, it relaxes your mind and you don't even have to think about it. All right. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and end right here. You want to end on the side of your weaving where your tail is. So you have the yarn you're weaving, and then there's also a tail that should be, hopefully it's not tucked in there somewhere, do your best to find it. There should be a tail hanging around there at the top and the bottom. So try and end on the correct side. I'm going to go ahead and do a double knot right here. I will just remove that because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to do a double knot. Remember, we crisscross, tuck your tail through the loop and pull, crisscross again, tuck your tail through and pull. All right. So now what we're going to do is grab our needle. We're going to need that again. And all of these horizontal lines here, these are loops that we did at the beginning when we set up our loom. We have to pop these off. So we're going to take the needle and tuck it under, lift up and over. You want it to pop off to the other side. Feels a little scary, but as long as you've tied that tie off, it's not going to fall apart. Pop off each loop. Sometimes your finger works better, but the needle is usually pretty helpful. So now I see all those loops over here hanging off from that side. I'm going to do the same thing to these. And you can see the loop actually is going to keep, because it goes under and over, it's going to keep all of our threads in place. It's going to hold that weaving all together. This one doesn't want to come off. There we go. All right, so now I've got these loops, and this part will all slide up. As long as you did a nice tight weaving, it will kind of expand when we take it off, okay? Oh, I forgot about the bottom tail too. Before you slide it off, you want to double knot the very bottom as well. 1 and 2 knots. All right. Now I'm going to just hold it straight up and down so it's pushing against the table, and start to wiggle and shimmy the weaving down. Pushing a little bit, it's really smushing together. You can also try and go side to side. What you don't want to do is just pull straight from the bottom. You don't want to kind of stress your yarn too much. And it's off. These little guys will get tucked inside in just a minute. This is a good time to stretch out that yarn. That was nice and tight. If you stretch it out, it will fill in those gaps at the top. Now, on the inside, we have a nice, smooth weaving. The outside is kind of like the messy part now. We can trim little tails off, but they will all kind of disappear. And you want to be careful not to cut directly into a knot, because then your weaving will fall apart. So I would just not really do so much trimming, but a way we can make it look nice and clean is by turning it inside out. So we're just going to kind of roll it up and push the inside out. You can kind of take your fingers and poke the corners too, or pencil if you need to. And there we have it. A nice, smooth, finished weaving. If you have some kind of stubborn little knots that keeps popping out, you can kind of tuck them in down inside your weaving too, like that. And if you have extra yarn and you want to make like a handle or any other sort of embellishment on your bag, you can. You can also keep your loom, keep your needle, and you can set up another weaving too. I will work on making another video so you guys can learn how to start over again. If you don't want to use either of these things, just bring them back to school and give them to me and I will reuse them. All right, good luck friends. I hope you enjoy finishing your weaving.